Oh, hey there. Yo, what's up? It's your boy Bobby Peacock, aka DJ Peacock from Peacock Entertainment, hoping to give you the most vibrant experience through video. Today we're going to talk about choosing a camera and why I picked my camera, the pros of the camera, and the cons of the camera. So let's jump into it. So picking a camera. A couple months ago, I was like, you know what? I used to have a Canon 60D, got rid of it. I want to get back into video full time. Like, let's see what's out there. I love YouTube. I love the YouTube community. So the first thing that I did was like, you know what? Instead of Googling a whole bunch of stuff, why don't we just hop on YouTube? Because I'm a visual learner. And so I just, it was like, top 10 cameras under $1,000, and it showed me a lot of cameras. And the funny thing is, I don't even think my camera is on any of those lists, which is kind of sad, but there's a reason why I chose my camera. So once I did that, I started looking at like all the specs of the cameras, and then pulled up B&H Photo or and other websites just to see like, okay, what do these cameras really have to offer, and did my research for about a couple, I think it was like 2 months. Then after that, narrowed it down to like 3 cameras, then narrowed it down to 2. So after I did all of that, I said, okay, what does the image quality look like? I said, shot on this camera, shot on that camera, and just kind of looked at like, okay, compared side by side, what does it look like? And then I came out with this camera. So introducing my camera, which is the Lumix G85. Now, me and the Lumix, we're tight. We're cool, We're both black. We got a lot of things in common, so that's cool. So here's 4 reasons why I picked the Lumix G85. First reason, of course, which would be any reason, is 4K. Now, at the time, there was a lot of cameras that were shooting in 4K, but at the price range that I was at, there wasn't a lot. I mean, you have the G7, the G85, and then Sony's line of cameras. And I was like, the G7 is good, like really, really good. But the G85 has a little bit more to offer. And the Sony camera is really good, like the image quality is amazing. I want to get a Sony 6300 or 65, or maybe an A7 II sometime, or whatever the newest Sony camera comes out. I don't know. So I stuck with the G85. It was kind of in the middle of the road, and it had a little bit more things to offer than the G7. Now, so the first thing was 4K. This thing shoots amazing video at 4K. It's 30 and 24. If you're looking for something that shoots 4K at 60, you might have to bump up to something a little bit higher price. You're gonna have to spend a lot more money. Do you have that money? Because if you do, then you don't need to watch this video. Now the second thing was I was really looking for something that had image stabilization, in-body image stabilizations, to be more precise. That's a mouthful. But I wanted something that if I had to go run and gun handheld, that it wouldn't be all jittery. So I had a Canon 60D 2 years ago, and what I found was if I would do those handheld shots and stuff, it would just be all jittery and it just wouldn't be good. So a lot of times I had to roll with a shoulder rig or do a lot of tripod shots or stick shots. I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to just run and gun and go. Third reason why is the weatherproofing on this thing. Huge reason. Even though it's probably not like fully weatherproof. I mean, if it's drenching and raining, I mean, like, who's gonna go out and like get the camera like nasty wet? Doesn't make sense. Now, I do stuff with construction companies, and I'm out shooting in hot weather, and sometimes it might just rain a little bit or sprinkle, and I want something that's like not necessarily gonna, like, if it gets rained on or sprinkled on, it's not gonna go kaput on me. We don't want a camera that goes kaput. No, ain't nobody got time for that. And then the last reason, a huge reason, is battery life. At the end of the time that I was looking for cameras, it was between the Sony 6300 and the G85. And what I found with the G85 is, one, it didn't overheat because of weatherproofing, and the battery life was a lot longer. Through my research, I just found that the Sony camera just didn't do well in that area versus the G85. And the crazy thing about the G85 is it's not really on the top 10 list of cameras under $1,000, which is absolutely crazy. Now, if you're in another country, it's actually called the G80. Now, there are a couple things that I don't like. The main two things that I don't really like about the camera is the autofocus. Now, the autofocus, I'm just going to let you know, absolutely sucks on this camera. I mean, Lumix, you gotta figure something out. But me, I mainly use manual focus. Like, I use manual everything. Like, I put it in the camera, so the ergonomics of the camera is beautiful. I like the way that fits in my hands, and so to focus the camera is easy for me. There's a couple times where I do use autofocus, and those times it's just it's a struggle sometimes. Sony and Canon, their autofocus is. The second thing that I don't like about this camera, and part of it is the kit lens, is the low light shooting. Right now, I'm shooting on, I'm shooting on a 12 to 60. I found in my research that the Lumix cameras kind of struggle in the low light scenarios versus like the Sony cameras and some of the Canon cameras and the Blackmagic and the Fuji cameras. Compared to some of their competitors, it really struggles in that area. I find that the darks are super grainy, and the footage itself is noisy. Like for me, I was shooting a shoot, and I was like, man, like this, I'm at 1600 when I feel like I should be at 800, and it's just really noisy. Those are two things that I just think that just aren't very good at the camera. To counteract that, I did get some of the Lumix lenses and the Olympus lenses to counteract that. And the other thing that I like about this camera is it's a Micro Four Thirds, so that's part of the reason why it kind of struggles in some of those low lights, because it has that smaller sensor. Overall, I love the camera. I would recommend it to anybody and everybody who is looking at a camera in this price range. Now, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Let's see what comes out of this. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Deuces.